Welcome back. I'm Stanford Chidge, and you are watching and listening in wonderful simulcast situations to the Chelsea Fancast. And now it is time for my favourite bit of the week. It is Lauren's Loan Report.
Hey, Chidge.
Hello, Lauren.
So we're going to do a little bit differently.
Are we? Tell me more. Tell me more.
So, if you guys follow at Chelsea Youth on Twitter, he does an amazing full-length loan report, which I can't even begin to compare with. So I'm just going to give the highlights.
So you nicked it, basically?
No, that's not how it works.
You borrowed it?
That's not how it works.
You asked
I read
nicely.
his.
Okay, all right.
For the highlights.
It's called research.
Okay,
Thanks very much.
All right.
So I have a little read of his, and I keep an eye on what I can, and I'm just going to give everybody the highlights.
And we always thought it was you that was the brains of an otherwise no-brain outfit.
I don't get it.
The truth is, you're Chelsea Youth. I mean...
yeah, I've never seen you in the same place at the same time. You are Chelsea
Blow my
Youth.
cover.
Well, a bit like Latoya Jackson.
Exactly.
Did you think I'd look like this?
I don't know. Well, no, I'm surprised. I thought Chelsea Youth was a bloke. So I'm very surprised. Anyway, let's do the loan report.
Okay, so highlights this week are Patrick Bamford continued his excellent start to the season, scored his 6th goal for MK Dons in their 3-1 win over Notts County on Saturday. He also added another assist to his tally and scored for the 3rd consecutive game. Thorgan Hazard, back on loan at Zoltvergrum, sorry for my pronunciation,
That's pretty good.
scored a penalty and notched up another assist. Unfortunately, they still lost 5-2 to Genk. And there's a new loanee that we have this season. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He's called Ross Stipe Perica. Is that right? Stipe Perica.
Sounds something rotten there. I think I had that the other week.
Paprika.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was. No. He signed for us in August from NK Zadar he's from Croatia. I'm yet to mention him in any of my loan reports. The striker made his debut for Zadar in September 2012, scoring 10 goals in 23 appearances. He was also part of the Croatia side that knocked out the recent Under-20 World Cup in Turkey, where he made 3 appearances and scored 1 goal. We've loaned him out on a season-long loan to NAC Breda in the Netherlands. We've actually got 6 players out on loan at Vitesse. However, the decision to send him there is because apparently there's a lot of Serbian and Bosnian presence in the coaching staff. So
6 players at Vitesse.
We do, yeah.
They're going
It's our
to
B
change that in
team,
the Dutch league, I think.
Coaching staff to help him with his languages, and he'd fit in a little bit better there. And he played for 10 minutes against Roda this weekend and scored just after 4. So I'll be keeping a close eye on him. And Romeo earned his first start in Valencia. He played 90 minutes, but they lost 3-1 to Real Betis.
Can I just ask, how many players have Chelsea got out on
20
loan?
odd.
22 last time I counted.
Lots. There's a very good article on the Chelsea FC website by Michael Emanalo, who basically outlined what there is actually a strategy behind it. But I'm not going to go into it now because we need more time for questiones to people like you. Now, as Lauren said, for a full loan report, follow at Chelsea Youth on Twitter, and of course read them when he publishes them on thechels.net. They are well worth a read. He knows his onions, and Lauren does too, so don't ever let it be said that she doesn't. Now, it'll be time, Lauren, in about 2 seconds, for if you don't ask, you don't get. Have we got questions?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Well, I think it's time we had them.
Okay, so 10th of March 1905, it said, is Darren on a warning tonight? He's on his best behaviour.
Is that for Darren or for me?
Both of you.
Okay, well, I'll answer first.
Yeah, you ask that and then you tell the truth.
I think Darren has been beautifully behaved. He's actually talked rationally, sensibly. He's been very well behaved to Rob, who's our guest, and he hasn't farted once. So I'm perfectly happy with Darren's performance. Would you like to respond to that, Darren?
I did say one word I maybe shouldn't have said, and you know about my bowel movement before, and I might follow through if I do fart.
You unloaded earlier, didn't you?
You
did.
Did you?
He did. I was
I've been to the toilet all day today, so I'm scared about following through, so I haven't yet.
I think we call that a shard, or is that the thing that's in Southern?
Shard.
Shard, sorry. Thank you, Rob, for correcting me there. Got any more questions?
Yeah, from Andy Silverman. He's asked me...
Hello, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Is this for you?
Yeah, it's for me, but I want everybody to give their opinion.
Okay, all right.
He said, do I think the club have overpriced the group stages of the Champions League? My answer is yes.
What sort of prices?
£35.
subs, mate.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but I think every group stage cup, Champions League, and I think the League Cup games and the FA Cup games should be £25.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm all for it. I've already put in a call to the Premier League and 1 or 2 people about this. Obviously, this season, more TV revenue, and there's been a cap in terms of how much money can be spent on new players. Why can't clubs use some of that excess money to freeze or bring down ticket prices?
Actually already, there is now a pot that each club has to put aside to doing something with ticket price. I think Liverpool have reduced theirs by a couple of quid, and we're doing with £10 travel to a few games.
Yeah, it's for away travel. Yeah.
I think the big problem is that awful though it may sound, it sounds awfully arrogant, but a lot of Chelsea supporters are now so used to us doing well in the Champions League that they find going to see Basel or Schalke or Bucharest not very attractive.
Yeah, I think don't underestimate Basel, by the way.
No, forget the football side.
Yeah,
it's just the attraction. It's not Barcelona. It's not Real Madrid.
No.
And actually, for a lot of people, 35 quid is a lot of money when you have to fork out. I can't afford to go, for example, so I'm not going. Yeah. And they will find it hard to sell out if they don't get their act together and actually price these games appropriately. I mean, last time round we had them giving them away to school kids because they didn't sell out.
Yeah, which
is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree.
Can I just say I checked today, it has sold out.
Yeah, but that's probably because members needed 5 points to be able to get Tottenham away tickets.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. I don't know. I mean, I might be told by the gallery in a minute, but I think we might have a surprise caller on the line who is going to ask us a question. Is that right, people in the gallery? We've got a caller on the line. This is the first Skype call we've ever done, and I think it's very appropriate that it should be this reprobate. Do we get to see him? Oh my God! Oh my God! Who let him onto the show? Dr. Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, Chief. I was going away with my Chelsea fan card T-shirt. I remember I left the damn thing in London.
What I want to know is how did they fit you into that small TV?
I know. I use a shoehorn. It's obvious.
Anyway, look, how are you, number one? And two, what is your question?
Well, how's the weather over there, by the way?
You what?
It's chilly.
How's the weather? It's autumnal,
Can you suggest he opens his mouth? He doesn't have to do a ventriloquist.
His wife's out there with her hand up his jacksie, controlling what he says.
Okay.
But smart. What's your question for us?
I've got a question for Rob, actually.
Good man.
Hiya.
As a very experienced football journo, who's well travelled, and you've been to probably every ground in the world, well, more or less. Which is the ground that treats you best? Which is the ground that treats you worst? And where does Stamford Bridge fit in all that?
Well, I have to say, it's a great question. Treats you best. Let's keep it to England. Arsenal really has set the standard in a lot of ways over the years. At the marble halls, there was always a.
You get a nice latte there, do you?
You get a nice Chardonnay there before the game. But I have to say to Teresa Connolly's praise at Chelsea, the welcome to the press is now not a soggy sausage roll and a cup of tea. It's fine cuisine, but it's not. It's beyond that. It's not about what food you get really. It's difficult to gauge now. Chelsea used to be a difficult club, one of the most welcoming clubs, I would say. I mean, none of them are anymore.
Great answer.
And of course, I remember the days when Mick Dennis, who was working for Press Association, wandered down to the bridge and saw the electric fence being erected. You would also remember those days. So, but in fact, I mean, Chelsea actually was pretty good in those days. As I said earlier on, you could wander down to the training ground and you could go and try and beat Kerry Dixon at snooker. What was the other question? Sorry, the other two?
Which is the worst ground?
Tirana.
Keep in the UK.
In Albania, I remember being there so scared because one of the fans, he might have been a Chelsea fan, decided to wear a Ben Sherman T-shirt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which the problem is, if you know the Ben Sherman logo, it is a target. And the problem is there were snipers over the other side of the pitch. And I was standing next to the guy and I just pushed him out of the way.
On your forehead.
Yeah, no, I was going to... That's right. Now, Tirana, awful. Not improved. Worst place, worst football ground, worst hotel. everything was bad about Tirana.
Martin, it's brilliant to see you again. I mean, in lieu of you not being on the blooming show for ages because you disappeared to Tel Aviv, I thought the next best thing that we could do was to get you on as our first Skype call. For those people who don't know this ugly mug, he did the first ever Chelsea fancast with me over 5 years ago. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it must have been at least 5 years ago, was it?
Oh, over 5 years ago, mate.
I remember it. I'm that old.
And they haven't improved since then, it has to be said.
Chidge, I've got a question for you.
Go on then, very quickly.
What's it like doing this show when you're not in a bar, you're in a studio?
That's easy. I can answer that in one word. Sober.
He's shaking under the table, I can tell you.
Still shaking the tree, boss. Martin, it's great to see you again, mate. We've got to move on, but hopefully I'll speak to you properly soon, yes?
It's great. Lovely to talk to you.
And say hello to everybody out in Tel Aviv for us.
I will.
Excellent stuff.
Bye,
See you,
Dr.
Mark.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers.
Got any more questions?
Saturday as well.
He's still there. It's always the same. You know, always the same with Mike. He always has to get another word in, doesn't he? It's really. Yeah, I know. The secret is he's actually in London now next door. But it's great to see him.
Lovely part of the world, Tel Aviv.
It is. He likes it.
Beautiful.
He does like it out there, but we do miss him, bless his heart. Now, what you got another question in there for us?
Question for anyone who wants to answer it first.
Who haven't we heard from?
Ross and Paul.
Ross and Paul, I think.
Paul, who do you reckon will be... Sorry.
Paul, your star for 10 is...
Sorry.
On Family Fortunes.
But all right, both of you. Who do you reckon will be Chelsea's top scorer this season?
Hazard.
Check.
I'm going to...
Mikel.
That is a good question.
It is, isn't it?
Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I would have said that.
Shout. That was quick. Got another one?
Not right now.
No, do you want... I've got some emails.
You've got it. I've got one for Rob. Can I ask it really quickly?
Yeah, go on.
No, ask it in a minute, because... Well, actually, go on. I know we've got another Skype call kind of hanging on for a minute.
Okay, just really quickly. If possible, would you have wanted to have Lukaku on loan at West Ham for a season?
Yeah, definitely, if he'd have been available. Although I don't agree with the loan system league to league. I don't think players should be loaned from one Premier League club to another. But under the current rules, definitely West Ham made an error not going for him. Should have gone for him. But I don't think the way West Ham play would have been a particularly good education for him at the moment.
That's a good point. Although, you know, Andy Carroll and all that, he would have fitted into Big Sam's hoof it up the pitch. Oh, no, let's not get down to that. Listen, I've got somebody on the line on Skype who would never hoof it up the pitch. But actually, I think her first match at Stamford Bridge back in the 80s was against West Ham. Yes. This girl is proper old school. I don't know if the gallery can let me know whether she's still there or not, but it'd be... Right, Beth Wild from Chelsea in America. Hello, y'all.
Hi, Beth.
Hello,
How
Beth.
are ya?
I'm fine. How are you? Can you hear me?
We can. Stop eating your dinner and talk to us.
I'm not eating my dinner. I'm actually doing postage. See?
Oh my
Member
God.
packets.
I thought we were playing
Well,
the piano.
stop. Put it down and concentrate on the show. It's great to see you, my love. As we got Rob Shepherd on the show tonight. As I said, Beth runs Chelsea in America, which is one of the biggest supporter groups out anywhere. I think.
Yeah.
This woman is a human dynamo.
How many fans in America then?
How many have you got? Oh, well, loads. But how many in Chelsea in America?
Right now, probably about 1,400.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Right, what's your question, my love? And who's it to?
Oh, well,
And I'll tell you what, the one thing you're not allowed to ask is why haven't I returned your call for the last 2 weeks? Because I can't answer that. But anyway, go on.
No, actually, I've got a couple of questions for you, and then I've got one for Rob.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Ready?
done. Ask Rob's first, because he's more entertaining than me. Slightly.
Okay. So, Rob, and you just spoke about the loan situation. You know, considering the dire strait that the playability of younger players aren't getting a chance to play.
Yep.
You can argue why that's happening or not. In America, we've had quite a few discussions on different forums and our podcast and everything else like that about B teams, which the FA are completely against, and yet they're not willing to put together, in my opinion, a strong enough U21, U19 schedule to get these boys prepared to go to the Premier League. And on top of that, with the investment that Roman and theoretically Chelsea made in Aldershot this summer.
Brazil question.
Yeah, I know, it's a very long question, isn't it?
You're not supposed to have heard that.
Well, there's a lot to consider.
Or Garth Crooks, yeah.
You know, I mean, I think it's hedging our bets, you know, by by supporting a team like Aldershot and turning it into, quote, a B team, if that's the plan, though God only knows. And Lizzie, are you there? And she is there.
Get on with it, Beth. We've got about 2 minutes left.
It's the thing, because Dyke coming out and saying that the youth program is crap is one thing, but to actually do something about it and understand the reality that if we're going to promote these guys forward, then we need to promote them. They need to have enough on the field experiences at a reasonable level in order to play at the level that the Premier League
Can Rob answer that now?
What's the question? Yeah, could you repeat the question? No. In all seriousness, in fact, I'm going to see someone from the Premier League this week about the loan system to try and get some more information on it. I gather they're trying to upgrade the under-21 league. I think the loan system's out of control. Don't think it's benefiting the clubs ultimately. It's not benefiting players. I think powerful and rich clubs like Chelsea, like Manchester City, are hoovering up players without qualitative control. Some of these players, and very few of these players now are coming through. The academy system's failed, whether that be for English players or from overseas. And something's got to be done. I think I'm right in saying that Chelsea almost got 70-odd players on effectively senior players. Now, that's just not right. Manchester City's the same. A lot of those players going to go away playing lesser league. They're not going to develop properly, so and possibly to the detriment of their career. I don't know the absolute solution to this, but I know it's a big problem. The noise of players that are coming through from Chelsea, McLaren, where is he? Because had he been able to come and breathe in the Chelsea first team for a while...
And he scored 2 goals for the under-21s the other week,
so he's not going to make it as a Chelsea player. It's too late.
So. Beth, what's your... just very quickly, you've got a quick question for me?
Yeah, I've got 2 quick questions for you.
You've only got time for one.
Obi-Wan Mikel, my Obi-Wan, was man of the match on Sunday, and I know that it's taken you a damn long time for you to come around to see how important he is.
Slander, Beth, slander.
Rubbed in a bit.
Mate, I tell you what, as Lizzie will confirm, I saw the light. I had an epiphany about Mikel at least 3 years ago, and I was instrumental in getting him awarded our man of the match tonight, apart from the fact that everybody else voted for Hazard.
Who did
we vote? We voted for Mikel, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sorry, Beth, go on.
I said, honestly, if anybody really understands that position that he's put into play, you will know that in that position, for what he was supposed to do, he was a 9.8 out of 10.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, he's a great example of what we just discussed in there. Had he come into Chelsea like he did when they took him off United, 6-7 years ago?
When he was 18.
When he was 18, then he was able to come through. Even then, even though there was multi-million-pound signings, the squads were smaller. He came through. He wouldn't get through now because he wouldn't have made the impact hitting the ground running, which he didn't. He's evolved into a decent player.
He has.
But the problem is you're wasting.
And we all thought that we only bought him just to annoy Alex Ferguson.
He'd have come through because we paid 12 million for him.
Okay, and my other question is...
Do you know what, Beth? I'm afraid I don't think we haven't really got enough time for it because I want to say very, very quickly, A, how are you? B, how is Chelsea America? But very quickly.
Chelsea in America is fine and growing and busy as hell, and I'm busy as hell and wanting to come over there and be there.
When are you going to come and see us?
It's hot as hell here still.
When are you going to come and see us?
End of November, babes.
Right. I look forward to that. We'll have a few beers in the hand and flower, but until then, Beth, lovely to see you. We'll see you soon. Blimey,
Beth.
I need to lie down after all that, but in fact I won't be able to. But after the break, it is time for a roundup of Chelsea news and some stats from Chelsea Cheddar.